Well, we're here at HotStart Manufacturing. Explains all the boxes. We're not in Bill's garage.
Yeah.
This is much cleaner.
Yeah, no, I haven't stolen any HotStart trucks, no boxes in my garage. But if you hear some sounds, there's actually people working here. This is a great business, and HotStart, love the logo. It's just a really cool facility, and we're very excited to be here today.
Yes, we are. Thank you for joining us for Launchpad Live, Spokane's Business Connection show. I'm Monique Cotton.
And I'm Bill Kalivas. Today we are talking about manufacturing.
And so why is manufacturing so important? Well, for instance, a lot of jobs come with a lot of manufacturing companies.
That's right, and we'll talk about that and much more. Launchpad Live starts right now. Now we're pleased to welcome Shelley O'Quinn and Stan Key of Greater Spokane Incorporated. Welcome, Shelley and Stan.
Thank you.
Shelley and Stan, tell us about your roles with Greater Spokane Incorporated. Stan, let's start with you.
Okay, I'm the industry manager in the economic development department for manufacturing, and so I work with our local manufacturers and try to help them with their growth plans, and also try to recruit new industry to the area that will complement our current manufacturers.
It's always good to have a plan. Shelley, what about you?
I'm the Director of Education and Workforce Development for Greater Spokane, and really I'm in charge of making sure that we're working with our K-12 and higher education systems to ensure that our industries, including manufacturing, have the skilled workforce that they need now and in the future.
It's really important to plan for the future.
Yes, it is.
That's great. So, Stan, can you help us a little bit? Maybe let's give some perspective to the health of the manufacturing sector in Spokane, and maybe talk a little bit about some trends that you might be seeing.
Sure. You know, obviously through the early parts of our recession, a lot of our companies had lost some business, but as I'm out talking to them today, most of them are growing and business is going strong for them. A lot of them are starting to rehire people and are doing pretty well. Driven primarily by the aerospace industry. We've got a fairly good cluster of aerospace manufacturers here, and then the supply side to those industries as well. So we're seeing a lot of good growth locally.
Shelley, what are some of the local manufacturing companies that are really doing well that we might not think of?
Well, believe it or not, Spokane County has over 500 manufacturers in our region, which most people are unaware of. So we have some great companies. If you take a look at Wagstaff, and going back to some of the statistics that Stan just shared with you, they're already going back to 2008 numbers. So we're seeing, we have HotStart, which you get a tour today, and Stan, help me out. What are some of the other companies that we?
Yeah, recently McKay Manufacturing has just announced an expansion of their facility that will double the size of their manufacturing floor. HotStart, of course, is one that a lot of people don't know about. Wagstaff, as she mentioned. Another real exciting company is ATC Manufacturing. They're in the aerospace field, and they make composite parts for Boeing planes primarily, and they'll probably double the size of their company in the next year as Boeing ramps up the new planes that they're doing.
And just to branch off of that question a little bit, you said there's more than 500 companies here locally. How does that stack up to other areas that are of comparable size?
For a number of manufacturers?
I think it's pretty close to communities the same size as ours, in that it makes up about somewhere between 9 and 10% of our economy is driven by manufacturing. The really neat thing in Spokane to see is you can kind of follow the supply chain throughout the community, because our manufacturers work very well with one another. And so if you're in, say, HotStart and they're having some parts done, you may go to another manufacturer and see those being machined. You may see a plastic molder doing parts for that particular piece of equipment. You can go into the heat treater and find those same parts being heat treated, and go to the finisher and see the finishing of those parts. So it really is a revolving circle within our community.
And many of our companies are now learning that if they're working together and going to do trade shows together all around the country, and even to Europe on the Governor's Aerospace mission to Europe. And so participating together as a community, which allows them to not be competitors, but to work to bring more manufacturing and more jobs to our region. And they realize that that's a competitive advantage that they have. When they go to the trade shows and they're having conversations with folks, they said, you guys are competitors. And they said, well, there's enough jobs out there that we're going to work together and bring, we all benefit when we bring them to Spokane.
Smart.
Yeah, so Stan, maybe can we hear a little bit about some of the things that you tell people when they say, why is Spokane such a great market for my manufacturing company? What are some of the benefits and amenities that we offer here in this region?
Well, first of all, I think we've got a affordable and skilled workforce. We have affordable real estate here. We also have a good supply chain. When I bring a company from out of town to look at our area, what I try to do is find out enough about that company so I know, do they need heat treating? I'll take them when they're on their initial visit to Spokane and introduce them to the heat treaters here, and I'll introduce them to the finishers and those people who they may need in their processes to complete their product. So, we just have a great supply of that. And
I think, in talking to Terry from HotStart, wasn't there a community empowerment zone benefit that was also leveraged for this building?
Yeah, there's a lot of programs available. Traditionally in economic development, manufacturing is the field where they concentrate a lot of the programs to help those industries because they're good paying jobs and there's a lot of spin-off from manufacturing. Generally you figure for every manufacturing job created, there's 1.5 to 2 other jobs created in your community. And so there's programs like the Community Empowerment Zone, and we use that here in HotStart to help with the expansion of the building that we're sitting in today. Basically what that did for them was for every $750,000 of this building that they could want to get the sales tax exempted on the construction, they had to hire one person from the Community Empowerment Zone, and so it works very well. And we've done probably 30 manufacturing companies across the county through the Community Empowerment Zone. And there's other programs, and that's what I try to stay aware of, is what programs are out there that can assist communities. We talked about McKay Manufacturing starting to expand their facility, and I found a program that would fit them that will help them with some of the sales tax on the construction of their facility.
Great.
So.
I'd just like to add one of our greatest competitive advantages for manufacturers is the cost of our electricity in this region is low, which is the benefit of having a state abundant with hydropower. So nationally, that makes us competitive.
Wow. So for California, for example, it'd be much more expensive.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Plus the real estate and the workforce on top of it.
Normally, the California companies that I work with, I could show them about a 50% savings on electricity. And if they're a high electricity user, that's a big number for them.
So that it would make them want to come here.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's a great piece of information, great incentive. So what are some other pieces of information, nuggets of information people in the public just might not be aware of?
Oftentimes, if you look at manufacturing, everyone thinks, well, manufacturing's dead. It's gone to China. And what you need to realize is that there are jobs that have been outsourced overseas, but they tend to be the lower skilled jobs. And what we've retained, or what we're even bringing back to the United States, are the advanced manufacturing. Unfortunately, the challenge that we face in recruiting a workforce, because most of our companies are facing a serious workforce shortage in the next 5 to 10 years, is literally up to 50% of the workforce is eligible to retire depending on the company. And nationwide, that is a problem. But the challenge is that those graduating from high school, college, they think that manufacturing doesn't exist in our region, so they don't even look at that industry. Or they still have that 1980s perception of what manufacturing should be, that dirty factory, and they've not had a chance to tour a company to see that really it's high technology. That when I was meeting with WEG staff, they said that the students that are the best skilled workers for them are those that are able to do Game Boy and Guitar Hero and are active with their hands. They said those are the kids that have the skills because they have good hand-eye coordination and they are just technologically savvy.
Sounds like a few young people I know.
Exactly.
That's a great advantage for a young person because they understand the technology, they understand the skills, and really it makes your job even more relevant.
And what they don't realize is that manufacturing jobs pay very well. So if you look at the average salary in Spokane County, it's around $38,000. For manufacturing jobs, it's $10,000 more than that in Spokane County.
Wow.
So they pay very well family wage jobs.
It's always interesting to me, too, about how much of the product is exported to other countries from Spokane. For instance, HotStart that we're here today, a lot of their sales are overseas. Wagstaff that we mentioned, 90% or more of what they make is shipped overseas. So we're bringing foreign dollars into the country and kind of offsetting that import-export differential that we sometimes hear about in the news for our country. So we have an awful lot of that here in Spokane, and it's a great thing to have.
Itron, Hollister Steer.
Really some excellent information. Thank you both for being here.
Welcome.
And for more information about Greater Spokane Incorporated and their manufacturing programs, you can go to greaterspokane.org.
And now we're pleased to welcome Terry Judge. He is CEO of HotStart Incorporated.
And Terry, thank you for inviting us to be here in your warehouse. Tell us about HotStart and how many employees you have at this location as well as other locations. I understand it's quite a bit.
Yeah, we have 180 employees. That's up over 90 just 10 years ago, so we've been hiring a lot of people and growing. That's here in Spokane, and then we also have facilities, sales offices in Germany and Houston and Japan. And those are smaller sales offices, so about 3 people per office over there.
Wow. So tell us about what you do. People have heard the name HotStart, but maybe just don't know quite what you guys are all about.
We make engine heaters, and that sounds odd because normally you're trying to cool an engine, but our applications are a niche focus that's needed in an application like a standby generator. That's used in a hospital or a data center or cell towers. Commercial industrial facilities are all over the place and nobody sees them. But when power's lost, everybody wants that power back on right away. We want to have our cell phones still work.
Sure.
We want to have our internet still up. If we're on the operating table in the hospital, we want power
Yeah,
back
you definitely
quickly.
don't want the power to go out there. Some pretty important functions.
Absolutely. So our system heats the engine and allows it to not only start right away, but also you can load the full power of that facility onto the engine and not kill it. So we keep those engines above 100 degrees. That's a standby generator application, and that's about 50% of our market, of our business. Other industries or other applications would be like natural gas compressors. That's why we have an office in Houston for the oil and gas market down there. So those are all large engines pumping gas down pipelines and need to always be running. If there's a backup engine that comes into play, got to keep that gas moving. Locomotives, they sit and idle morning, noon, and night. If they don't have an engine heater that they can shut down and keep the engine warm so it can be started and go back to work the next day. Trucks, machinery, Class 8 trucks, as well as machinery that's used out in the field, need engine heaters so they can start. And ships. Large ships and stationary power where large engines are used need engine heaters. So it's a niche market that not many people know about, especially here in Spokane. All our customers are outside of Spokane.
But you're bringing jobs into this area. Your headquarters are here, so it helps to really with the local economy as well.
Yeah, it's this is where we were born here in 1942 with Mr. Stanley Power starting the business, and his business partner Wayne Kimberlin, who was a former school bus driver, and wanted to develop a way to be able to start a school bus on cold Spokane mornings. So it started as really a garage shop type of business and has been here ever since, growing for 70 years now.
I think we can all relate, if you park outside, to turning on your engine and waiting for it to heat up. I can't even imagine if it didn't heat up right away, you know? So it's pretty important.
Yeah, Terry, can you talk a little bit about sort of how you really got into some of those markets that you're in, and really what's the fastest growing area and fastest growing market that you're currently in?
So I mentioned Stanley Power started with a school bus application, and so school buses was the first area we were involved in, and then trucks was a natural next application. Still today we're in the truck and bus market, but it's a small piece of our business. So over the years, as time went on, I think we just had a culture and people that were open to new things, new applications. Let's keep trying and innovating where we can go next. And maybe back in the mid-'60s, we had our first application on a locomotive. Generator sets was maybe around the same time frame. I'm not sure exactly when that happened, but that's been a growing market for us. With wind in our sails from cell towers and data centers that we didn't see coming, obviously. That's all new technology, but we've been there working with our customers, supporting them. So other markets, industries, natural gas, pipelines. I'm not sure exactly when that came into play, but that's certainly been a growing market. If you've heard about shale gas deposits that have been found in North Dakota and Pennsylvania, our country wants to become energy independent. We're the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, and so there's a lot of emphasis on developing those regions, and our business has grown a lot in that area as well. Marine ships and stationary power that use very large engines is a new market and a growing market for us. So.
And your company has also been selling products globally. So talk about that process a little bit. You mentioned Japan and Germany.
Well, yeah, it's been growing a lot. We've had a lot of emphasis in that. Our vision is to be the world leader in engine heating. And so we have. So
that's a big market. World's a big market.
Yeah, we have to do a lot of things all over the world in order to achieve that vision. And it really started by not us being all that proactive, but maybe reactive to when we're serving a customer like Caterpillar. They're very much a global company, and so we're kind of on their coattails as they're setting up new manufacturing facilities, new engineering facilities that they're taking us with them. Then also, we had before my time, Rick Robinson was very much a visionary into international business and would take personal vacations and not have anything funded from the business. We couldn't afford something like that, but on his own time and his own nickel, he would go on vacation in Europe and then start knocking on doors to find out if there was a market, if we could sell directly to customers over there, and he found out we could. Wow. And started signing up distributors and putting more of an emphasis into that. And so it's been a focus of ours maybe in the last 20 years. Maybe more aggressively in the last 10 or 11 years as we've hired more people now that are foreign nationals. We've got a diversity now here that looks more like the world instead of just Spokane, Washington. So people that speak fluent languages from all over the world and helping us set up operations in different locations. Right.
And I understand you just got back from Japan yourself, so you're looking pretty good for having traveled for almost a straight day.
Well, yeah, you didn't see me yesterday or the day before. So
yeah, and we won't talk about the makeup, right?
Yeah, the makeup is helping a lot. It's she's a miracle worker, that makeup lady. So in Japan, that recent trip I just took or just got back from was more of a vacation with my family to help my whole family experience a foreign culture, and it was a lot of fun. But I got to spend a little bit of time in our office there in Tokyo and got to talk with Mitz Nakamura and Mai, who we just hired over there as an assistant. So it's a small office that's growing, but heard some great stories and things that are happening. And Tokyo is a center of business over there, and so it's interesting how we're getting a lot of our contacts over there, our target customers, that are actually contacting our office and saying, "I'm going to be in Tokyo for business. Can I stop by and have a meeting with you?" And so that doesn't happen in Spokane, Washington, and things are rolling pretty good.
Good old-fashioned face-to-face, right?
Yeah,
you got to have that. So you talked a little bit about sales a few minutes ago, and I'm always curious to talk to CEOs about what they can tell us about their sales strategy. So do you have a direct model? Do you have channel partners and really setting up distribution channels? What's your strategy for that?
We want to be a world leader in engine heating, which means we need to have our own people in certain locations. We go where there's a major market there that we can serve. So in lighter markets, we'll have distributors still. That doesn't justify the full investment of a full company office.
Excellent. So you also mentioned that your company is focused on energy savings, and that's something that you really think about in the products that you make. So talk a little bit about energy savings as it relates to HotStart.
Well, it's actually something that was discovered by one of our customers and brought to our attention. They wanted a more reliable heating system developed. This was actually Caterpillar, and they were using competitive heaters, and so we took the challenge on to build something better that we could use to displace our competitors with. And when they did their testing on it, they came back from their testing and they said, this is a better, more reliable heater, and oh, by the way, it's 30% more energy efficient. And in a standby generator mode, you think that generator itself doesn't run very often. It's only when you lose power. But our heater's running 24/7 because you never know when you're going to lose power, and you always have to be ready. So they brought it to our attention that, wow, we could actually develop products that are more energy efficient, and we invited a Vista. We're really fortunate here in Spokane to have a Vista that has some really good R&D and engineers to work with us and study this, and we've been working with them now 4 years, and we've developed a whole line of new energy efficient heaters that we call hot flow heaters.
That's great.
Important stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in this day and age when we're all looking to save a little bit, and especially save energy and money.
And you've got big commercial industrial customers out there that consume a lot of electricity, and Avista now has actually rolled out a rebate for their customers to say, if you replace the old style engine heaters with this new style, more energy efficient heater, we'll give you a $400 rebate on your installation. So that's exciting for us here in Spokane, but it's really exciting as we think about how this could snowball across the whole country. So we've been doing a lot of sales and promotion work on that.
Do you think we could sign up for that $400 rebate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that applicable?
I'm sure you have a standby generator at your home, don't you?
Bill's pretty warm.
Yeah.
I don't know, we can put him to work.
I'm actually hot.
Hot.
Yeah. So Terry, one other question I have is, and obviously I'm sure you want to be careful from a competitive standpoint, but any other markets that you're really interested in from an R&D perspective, or other markets that you're looking at?
I think if he told you, he'd have to kill you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that might be fun, so I'll tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
We get that a lot. Yeah, trust me.
You know, we try to listen to our customers and work closely with our customers into their, working with their engineers, what are they doing in R&D, and really try and develop with them jointly what's going to be needed 5-10 years down the road. We've invested a lot in our R&D facilities, cold room facility now where we can bring temperatures down to 30 degrees below zero and test our customers' equipment with our product and a competitive product on it if they'd like us to, and share that data with them and help improve their product. And so that's kind of I beat around the bush a little bit there. Sorry, Bill, but
well, actually, you know what? In a political season, you did pretty well. Yeah, that was actually that was a pretty good answer.
Indirectly direct.
Yeah, no, that was good. So
we've talked a lot about the successes of HotStart, but talk about some of the challenges as you grow this booming business.
Well, it's getting to be a challenge to know all our employees, and for all our employees to know each other and make this feel like the good old HotStart family, fun culture that we've had for so long. And so we work hard to get to know each other, have things that we can enjoy together, whether it's we're going to do a Silverwood Day this summer. We had a big company party at the Davenport in February.
Do community outreach efforts?
We do a lot in community service, community projects together. You've met a couple guys that are impressive with their ability to want to raise money for charities. Sean Riopel and Corey Hovanek that recently visited the Hutton settlement, and they're going to raise money for that charity and put a softball team together. And they've actually been doing this for 3 years, but it's fun because the whole company gets to participate and get to know each other better.
That's great.
Plus, you're giving back to others, which is always good.
Yeah.
So, what does the future hold for HotStart? Where do you see the next maybe 3 to 5 years?
Well, it's exciting. I mean, it's we're growing, and I just continue to see us continuing to grow rapidly and continuing to support that growth with resources and processes, facilities, everything we need to keep that going.
Sure. And you have a great logo. We love the logo. As soon as we walked in, it's everywhere. Your facility is amazing. People were so friendly here. It was every person we walked by was a smile and hello. And I
feel like I work here.
Yeah.
I think you've officially hired me.
I don't know if you coached him, but whatever. The culture here is really neat.
I said free popsicles for everybody if you'll be nice to these guys, because you're never nice to anybody. No, we've got an awesome bunch of people, and that's the thing that's really motivating for me and a lot of people. I think it's fun to come to work and work together, and great sense of teamwork and great people.
Yeah, great company.
Been a really enlightening conversation with Terry Judge, CEO of HotStart. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was a pleasure learning more about your company, and to learn more about HotStart, you can go to hotstart.com. It's been a great show. We appreciate you joining us.
Yes, and thank you for joining us today. Building local relationships is vital to your personal and professional success. There are several ways to build local relationships, and Launchpad is a resource that can help you find the best resource for you. You can join the launchpadinw.com website. You can like our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter. You can also join the LinkedIn group or Google Plus group. Just sign up for the weekly newsletter and receive information about local events and local programs.
It's quite a mouthful, Bill. Thank you again for joining us for Launchpad Live. As always, it's our goal to help connect you to the best and brightest of our community and inspire you to achieve your personal definition of business success. See you next time.